Okay, so let's see if I can do this without screwing up. Got my new t-shirt, property of USS Voyager. Um, uh, we're on disc 1, season 1 of Voyager. I just discovered today that one of the Star Trek Next Generation videos I did, I've been having computer issues and my pause button isn't working that well. And I must have been getting a delivery or gotten distracted by some reason, but never uploaded the entire video, only uploaded the end of the video. So the video starts in the middle. The original video is gone. I'm running out of memory room, so after I upload to YouTube, I delete, and apparently I deleted before I realized that I hadn't uploaded the entire video to YouTube. So I screwed up there. It's my bad. If you want to watch, go back and watch Genesis. You'll notice we started the end. My bad. But anyways, we are with PARALLAX today. We did Caretaker last week. Let's hope I can do this without screwing up. And welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, Kristina. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, no fancy stuff going on here. And I'm a series person. I like character progression. So we binge Star Trek. It took 3 years. We're gonna binge Voyager. And then after we do Voyager, we will go straight into as of now, I may change my mind, but as of now, I plan on going into the books after the series ends, due into Homecoming. And, maybe by that point in time, Outlander will be finished. Season 8 will have been put on DVD, and maybe we'll go through Outlander at that point, but that's 2 or 3 years down the road. I don't even know if I'll still be here 2 or 3 years down the road. I hope so. I hope by that point I have, 10,000 subscribers. Wouldn't that be awesome? Hell, I'm waiting for that. It's not like anybody's watching my poor little channel here. But those of you who do, I extremely appreciate it. Thank you so much for hanging in with me. Let's see if I can do this without screwing up. So, let's see. Nope. I screwed up. I don't know why they did this way. It's so hard to it took me a while to figure it all out. But this is Voyager 103 PARALLAX. And no Captain voiceover in the beginning. We start out with a guy nursing his nose. And for the record, I do not like what's-her-face. Sashka. I do not like that chick at all. Her character. The person's fine. I just don't like the character. Hold on. Well, that only took 4 tries. Okay. So we are in sickbay, and Lieutenant Carey here has been punched in the nose. She's out of control. She's out of her mind. Tuvok, all Vulcan-y proper. Will you explain what happened, Lieutenant? She hit me. That's what happened. And Doc says, your nose is broken in 3 places. I will need to reset the medical stuff. Don't move. We were having a disagreement about the power grid. She wanted to realign the lateral plasma conduit. I told her that would cause an overload. As usual, she wouldn't listen. So I told her to step aside and let me handle it. She pushed me away from the console. I pushed back. Next thing I knew, I was lying on the deck with blood pouring down my face. Then Chakotay says, then what happened? She said, sorry, maybe you should go to sick bay. At least she gave you some good advice, the doc says. And he treats the nose. And Chakotay says, don't worry, Lieutenant, I will take care of this. You keep that woman out of my engine room and everything will be fine. She's half Klingon. She's got a Klingon thing. Attitude. Situation. We'll see. Now, I don't get why Chakotay was being so hard-headed or formal or serious or something about this. Later, he gets a little more relaxed in the situation. But in this one, oh, no, it's the other way around. I read that wrong. It's Tuvok that wants it formal. Sorry. Where is Miss Torres? I've confined her to quarters, Chakotay says. I would like her moved to the brig until formal charges can be filed. Formal charges? Come on, Tuvok. We're 75 years away from the nearest court. Are you really going to hold her in the brig for that long? The captain has the authority to try Miss Torres here on the ship, considering the extenuating circumstances. Well, I'd like to settle this on my own without filing charges and without involving the captain. She struck a fellow officer, Tuvok says. This is a court-martial offense. She's Marquis, and in the Marquis, sometimes you have to push people out of your way to get things done. Miss Torres is no longer a member of the Marquis, and with all due respect, Commander, neither are you. Allowing Miss Torres to get away with a clear violation of regulation sets a bad example for the rest of the crew. It appears as though you are shifting your favoritism towards the Marquis. Look, Lieutenant, I don't have to explain myself to you. I'll deal with B'Elanna personally, and then I'll inform the captain. You are to drop this matter. That's an order. I will yield my authority in this case to you. However, I will make a full report in my security log. You do that. And then Chakotay is joined in the elevator by some Marquis. There she is, Miss Seska. They want to know what's going to be done with B'Elanna. And I don't know yet, but I'll handle it. We heard that Captain Janeway is going to put her in the brig for 2 months, and that all the Marquis are going to be restricted to quarters when they're not on duty. Not true, Chakotay says. We just want you to know that if things do get out of hand, we're ready to back you. What does that mean? They're already planning a mutiny! Miss Seska is already planning a mutiny! I don't like the character. I don't. Because she causes a lot of trouble. Now and in the future. Don't like the character. So then Chakotay goes to talk to B'Elanna. He gives her the medical report on Lieutenant Carey. Lieutenant Carey is an idiot. When I tell you what happened, I don't want to hear it. You might be interested to know that the impact fractures along his cranium were pretty severe. If you'd hit him just a little bit harder, you could have driven some of his bones into his brains. I didn't even come close to hitting him that hard. So on the one side, I'm facing a Vulcan who wants to court-martial you, and on the other side, I'm facing all the Marquis who are ready to seize the ship over this. You've turned this into one lousy day for me, Torres. So how long do I have to stay in here? 75 years? I never found your twisted sense of humor very funny, Chakotay. Or I could send you back to work with the understanding that you apologize. Apologize? He started it! Not a simple apology, a personal one, over a hot cup of pachuga. Bond with the man. I'm not going to bond with him. You're going to need support from people like Carey. I don't need support from anybody. If you were going to be chief engineer of the ship, yeah, right. This is not another example of my twisted sense of humor, but Carey is next in line. You're a better engineer than he is. What does the captain have to say about this? She hasn't said a word because I haven't told her yet. Then Out of all the Star Treks, I love Voyager's theme music the most. I can't sing. I can't hold the tune either. But we do get a captain's voiceover. Captain's log, store date 48439.7. As we've maintained a course back to the Alpha Quadrant, we're conducting what would normally be routine maintenance to the ship. Routine, that is, if we had access to a starbase. So Paris is giving his report. Engine efficiency's down another 14%. If we don't get more power to the warp drive, we're all going to get out push. What's the alternative energy? Ensign Kim, have you had any luck getting power from the holodeck reactors? Not yet. We tried hooking them to the power grid and we ended up blowing out half the relays. The holodeck's energy matrix isn't compatible with the other systems. Chakotay says, Captain, if we relocate all the security personnel to Deck 7, we can shut down power on Deck 9 and reroute it to propulsion. That would be inconvenient, but acceptable. Fine. Now let's move on to the personnel situation. And that's when Kes and Neelix come into the room. We're part of the staff. We'd like to be included in on these briefings. Sorry we're late, but I wasn't informed there was a meeting this morning. Oh, there don't seem to be enough chairs. Neelix, this is a briefing for senior officers. Well, I see. Well, I'm the senior Talaxian on board, and Kes is the senior Ocampa, and I do know more about this region of space than any other member of the crew. We have excellent suggestions, Captain. Very well. You're welcome to join us this time. They end up joining forever. Here you are. He gives some seats. To be honest, we could use some excellent suggestions right now. I've been thinking you might be able to convert some of your lower decks into a hydroponics bay to grow your own food. I understand that the replicators are down and the emergency rations won't hold out much longer. What about a cargo bay too? It's designed for organic storage and it already has adjustable environmental controls. When can you start? Me? Yeah, you, Cash. You brought it up. It's your job. Right away. I can do some wonderful things with vegetables, Captain. My Furgot goulash is known across 12 star systems. Okay, the personal situation. We've managed to find a replacement for the transporter chief, but we need an astro plotter, a chief engineer, a medical support personnel. Chakotay, I've made a list of several more key members who would make good officers. And he hands Janeway the thing, the Torres? Didn't she just get in a fight? B'Elanna Torres, she was the one involved with the incident with Mr. Carey. That's right. Just what job do you think she'd be suited for? Chief engineer. You're serious. Very. Regarding sickbay, we still need a chief medical officer. Neelix, what about the electronic man down in sickbay? It's an emergency medical hologram and its abilities are limited. It can only operate within the confines of sickbay. Not to mention its bedside manner, Paris says. Perhaps we should assign somebody to train with the hologram as a field medic. Good idea. Lieutenant, I understand you studied biochemistry at the academy. Paris goes, 2 semesters? Good. You're hired. Report to sickbay when we finish here. But Captain... But they have an emergency. Something's going on with the ship. Everybody runs out to the bridge. So the ship rattles and rolls a little bit. We're running into some kind of spatial distortion. Mr. Tuvok, the distortions are emanating from a highly localized disturbance in the space-time continuum. Distance 20,000 kilometers off the port bow. All stop, on screen. Gravimetric flux density is over 2,000%. If I'm not mistaken, we're looking at a Type 4 quantum singularity. Captain, I'm receiving an auto transmission from in this singularity. It's a female voice and the words are garbled. I think I found the source of the transmission. There's a distant image of a ship appears on the view screen against the black hole. It's Voyager. It's their mirror image, and it's going to take them the entire episode to figure that out. I think I found the source of the transmission. The distant image of a ship appears on screen with the black hole. Does it look like any ship you're familiar with? No, nothing I recognize, but then it's hard to make out. Then they may be trapped in the event horizon. Open a channel. This is Captain Janeway of the Starship Voyager to the vessel near the quantum singularity. Do you need help? Event horizon? Kes says. Neelix says, a singularity is a star that collapsed on itself. The event horizon is a powerful energy field surrounding it. Why, once a particular dangerous trade mission to the twin stars of Caladia, I myself was trapped inside. No response, Captain. Tuvok says, can we use a tractor to get the vessel out? No. The subspace interference is too heavy. Captain, we're less than 3 light years from Ildelia. They have sophisticated technology. They might be able to help, and they're friendly most of the time. No, it looks like we're being pulled into the singularity too. We have to get out of the event horizon. Chakotay says, bridge to Torres. We need to get the ship out of there. Any ideas? I was thinking we could remodulate a tractor beam, she says. I like how they just talk to the air again and automatically communications go to the bridge. I know I complained about this all through Star Trek Next Gen, but I'm going to do it again now. They just talk to the air and their voice just automatically goes to the person they want to hear. It's not like the entire ship can hear too, or can they? Does anybody know? So then we're in engineering and we're trying to work together. A subspace tractor beam, exactly. 1, can you have it ready? 2 hours, maybe 3. Get right on it. Use as many people as you need. Mr. Carey, what do you think? Carey says with the right field modulation it might work, but we'll need more power to the emitter array. Very well, you're in charge, Mr. Carey. Report to me when the tractor beam is ready. Aye, Captain. Mr. Paris, hold the position there. Chakotay, I want to see you in my office now. We got a situation here. Just once I'd like a 2-shot. But no, you talk, it's in your face. You talk, it's in your face. You talk, it's in your face. I need a 2-shot to show both people in the room. Janeway says, we have a problem and we need to discuss it. Captain, I appreciate you're concerned about Torres, but I promise you, you don't understand, Commander. It isn't about Torres. My problem is with you. Me? In, let me be blunt. What you tried to do just now was out of line. In what way? When you decided to call Torres in engineering. I've worked with her. I know what she's capable of. We needed an answer right away, and I knew she could give us one. Carey is the senior officer in engineering. If you look at it that way, none of my people will ever have seniority. That's the problem right there. They're not your people. You're treating the Marquis on this ship like they're still your crew. I'm doing everything I can to integrate them into your crew. But frankly, you're not making it easy for me, Captain. I can't make it easy, Commander. Surely you understand that. They don't have the discipline. They don't have the training. Some of them, like B'Elanna Torres, have the ability. The Starfleet officers on this ship have worked all their lives to earn their commissions. How am I supposed to ask them to accept the Marquis as their superior officer just because circumstances have forced us together? You're asking me to accept them. You're qualified. You're a graduate of the academy and you have Starfleet command experience. Permission to speak freely. Go ahead. I have no intention of being your token marquise officer. Show me another qualified candidate and I'll consider him. Belana Torres, who can not control herself and who could not make it through the academy. She's the best engineer I've ever known. She could teach at the academy. You're right. Captain, I do consider these people my people because no one else in the ship will look out for them like I will. And I'm telling you, you're going to have to give them more authority if you want their loyalty. Theirs or yours, Commander. I'm trying to help you. I'm sorry you don't see that. I strongly recommend you get to know Torres before you choose a new chief engineer. And permission to leave, and permission is granted to leave. So Cass is in sickbay to talk to the doctor. Actually, there's no emergency. I'm creating a hydroponics bay. I was told you could provide me with some nitrogened soil samples. That's it. I'm sorry. So it begins. The trivia of medicine is my domain. Know every runny nose, stub toe, pimple on a cheek becomes my responsibility. You're the only doctor we have, Cass says. I'm not just a doctor. I'm designed with the information from 2,000 medical resources and the experience of 47 individual medical officers. I am the embodiment of modern medicine. How much dirt do you need? 4 samples will be enough. Now I know how hypocrites felt when the king needed him to trim a hangnail. You're very sensitive, aren't you? As a medical practitioner, I require a certain sensitivity to properly address patients. I'm talking about you as a person. I'm merely a hologram. Doctor, as your program altered your appearance since I was in sick bay, know why. When I first came in, your head was at the same height as this cabinet. Now he's shrinking. Through the entire episode, he's getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So he's becoming small. He's smaller than Kess when she walks up. We'll just not go there. So the doctor reports to Kim that he's shrinking, and Kim says he'll take care of it and then forgets. So then Cass and the doctor get into a conversation on what his name should be. And this becomes a thing. The entire 7 years is him trying to figure out a name. So we have those back and forth moments that I'm just not going to deal with. But the Carey tells the captain that the subspace tractor beam is online and ready to go. Then Janeway tells Tuvok to lock on the ship, and they lock on the ship, and the beam is penetrating the event horizon, and stuff starts going wrong. There's massive flower fluctuations. The new relays on the grid aren't holding. The ship starts shaking. The tractor beam reduces to 80%. They have to turn around and get back. They end up doing a whole bunch of stuff, and they end up not doing it at all. So then B'Elanna goes to see the captain. You asked to see me, Captain? Have a seat. I just want you to know I have personally gone over every emitter relay again and refitted the 4 of them myself. No one blames you for what happened. Commander Cachote thinks very highly of you. He's recommended you for chief engineer. Well, we've been through a few scrapes together. Do you think you're ready? Ready? Ready to be chief engineer on a starship? Well, I think I know my way around an engine room, if that's what you mean. It's part of what I mean. There's also the matter of the ability to command others. I'm not sure I'd be doing you a favor by putting you in charge down there. There'd be a lot of hard feelings toward you from many of the Starfleet people. I'm not bothered by what people think of me. And the job requires knowledge of Starfleet protocol, experience with Starfleet methodologies. Listen, Captain, if you don't think I'm right for this job, just say so. I'll be honest, I'm not sure whether you are or not. That's why I wanted to try to get to know you a little better. I've been studying your academy record. Where did you get that? Thanks to Tuvok, we've had the names of your entire crew by the time we left DS9. 4 disciplinary hearings, 1 suspension. You had quite a turbulent couple of years, didn't you? Yes, you could say that. What do you think the problem was? The problem was a system that didn't give anyone a chance to breathe. We work under the same system on this ship. Then I guess maybe this is just a bad idea. Why did you quit the academy, B'Elanna? I didn't want to have anything to do with Starfleet now, and I'm sorry that I have to now. And she leaves. And then the doctor contacts Janeway, and he's still shrinking. So then we're back on the bridge again looking for the hole. It's another type 4 quantum singularity. Physical and temporal dimensions are identical to the one we encountered earlier. Captain, according to these reasons, we return to our previous coordinates. This isn't another singular, it's the same one. They check the navigational logs, confirm our position. Well, they show we've traveled 1.4 light years away from the anomaly, but I've confirmed our position against the star chart. We are definitely back where we started. It doesn't make any sense. They both can't be right. Either we're still at the singularity or we're not. Janeway says, well, we can see the singularity, so I tend to believe that the external sensors are correct. That would imply that something wrong with the warp drive and the navigational logs. Mr. Paris, lay in a course away from the singularity, this time at maximum warp. Ensign Kim, I want you to keep a sensor lock on the singularity. Verify that we're moving away from it. Engage. Kim says the distance from the singularity is 10 million kilometers and increasing. Paris says warp engines holding steady. All systems report normal. 11 million, 12 million, beep beep. I don't get it. Mr. Paris, have we altered course? No. We're still on 310 Mark 215. Then something's really wrong here. It's ahead of us again. And Seska's on the bridge. Confirmed, we're back at the same position. Janeway says, I'll stop. Ensign Kim, transfer all the data and spatial distortions we've encountered to my ready room. I'm going to begin my own analysis. Commander, have all departments run system diagnostics. I expect a full report from all officers in 1,500 hours. And who will give the report from engineering? Carey, says the captain. So then Carey and B'Elanna talk. The captain says she wants you to attend the staff meeting this afternoon. Oh, well, I'll give you a full report on what happens. I'll be there too. Just remember, Torres, I'm the senior officer and I speak for engineering. Try not to say anything unless someone asks you a question. 1,500 hours, deck 1. Don't be late. And Sasha in the background comments that she should have broken his nose, should have broken more than his nose. So then Ensign Kim and Tuvok are having a conversation in the hallway. I've taken a look at every major subsystem and there's no sign of any trouble. What about the navigational array? I'll have the results in an hour or so. I hear there's been some trouble down in engineering. There was an altercation, but it's been resolved. That's not what I hear. I hear the whole department's up in arms, that the Marquis and the Starfleet people are almost at each other's throats. Tuvok says, I will never cease to be amazed by the human capacity for the hyperwall. The situation may be characterized as tense, but one could hardly say that they're about to become violent. Kim says, I hope you're right. Things are bad enough around here without... Kim gets a massive headache and falls to his knees. So we're in the briefing room, and the doctor is giving his report, and he's still getting shorter and shorter and shorter. 27 other crew members have now reported the symptoms, and yet when I examined each of them, I couldn't find anything wrong. I have no diagnosis, no prognosis, no recommendation treatment. I'll contact you when I have something more to contribute. And by the way, I am now 68 centimeters shorter. I'd appreciate it if someone would repair my holographic projectors before I have trouble reaching my patients. Janeway says, I finished my study of the spatial distortions coming from the singularity. I can give you a long, boring analysis. Suffices to say, I don't know what's going on. The readings are confused. The data is contradictory. None of it makes any sense. Anyone have any more constructive Tuvek says, shipwide diagnostics have revealed nothing out of the ordinary. Carey says, I'm sending out a Tachyon signal to carry the singularity, but all I get back is static. Chakotay, Belana, do you think you can work with Mr. Carey to clean up the signal? Yes, good. But it won't work. I mean, it was a good idea to try it, but it won't work. You have another idea? Belana says, I was just thinking about the problem with the doctor's holographic projectors. It seems like the spatial distortions might be interfering with the projector's phase alignment. That was my guess, too. If that's the case, I would screen out those distortions by setting up a localized dampening field around the projectors. Is our priority here really the medical hologram system? My point is that if the spatial distortions are also interfering with the transmission we receive from the other ship, we could set up a similar field around our external sensors and communicate with them. Exactly. And then we may know more about what's going on than we do. Let's give it a try. Dismissed. Do we step on toes? So then we're on the bridge. Emitters online, Belana says. I'm rerouting the dampening field through the defector grid. Janeway says, open a channel to the other ship. The garbled words still in the singularity. Ramping up field intensity. It's working. We're cutting through the distortions. Remodulate the EM band. See if you can clear it up a little more. Kim says, compensating from the amplitude distortion. Janeway says, this is Captain Catherine Janeway, the Starship Voyager, to the vessel near the quantum singularity. Do you need help? That's your hell. They're talking to themselves. I'm applying the dampening field to our visual scanners. I'll see if I can clarify the image. And it's Voyager. They're talking to themselves. I've been hailing the ship on all frequencies, no response. I don't think you'll get a response, Lieutenant. That's the message we unscrambled. It's the same message I sent out 9 hours or so. Could we have traveled back in time and met ourselves? No, that's it. I have an explanation, Belana says. So, we're in the briefing room. Think of it like this. You're sitting at the bottom of a pond which is frozen. Frozen over, and you look at the surface and you see a reflection of yourself. Now you think you're looking at another person sitting at the bottom of the pond looking back at you. And in this case, we'd be staring up at the surface of the event horizon and seeing a time-delayed reflection of ourselves. Are you saying we're the ones trapped in the singularity? Yes. You're right. It's the only theory that explains everything that's happened to us. We're probably in this singularity since we first felt the jolt. Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. We're cruising along a warp 7, then we pick up a distress call and moved in to investigate, but now you're saying that the other ship is actually a reflection of us, and that the distress call is actually the captain's opening hail, but we picked up the distress call before she sent the hail. How could we be seeing a reflection of something that hadn't even done yet? Am I making any sense here? No, but that's okay. One of the most difficult concepts to grasp in the temporal mechanics is that some effects can precede cause. A reaction can be observed before the action which initiated it. So what do we get out of it, Kim says? I'm not sure. Oh, how do we get out of it? But I do know one thing, that as we slide deeper in the singularity, the spatial distortions are increasing. According to my calculations, within 9 hours, they'll crush the ship. If your analogy is correct, how do we get out of that sheet of ice? Look for a crack. Or make a crack. Take something and crack it with the ice until it buckles. Wait a minute. What if we already made a crack in the ice when we first encountered the event horizon? How do you make a hole in gravity? If we could find our entry point, we might be able to slip out the way we came in. So we're looking for a subspace instability in the event horizon, which would make it what would make it show up on our senses. Warp particles. If we saturate the event horizon with warp particles, we might be able to see the escaping through the rupture we made and when we entered. So we're back on the bridge. Mr. Tuvok, take the main deflector offline. Mr. Kim, reroute the port and starboard plasma flow to the main deflector. We can use it to generate a warp field. Deflector's offline, Tuvok says. Initiating plasma flow, Kim says. Release the warp particles. Orange stuff shoots out. Scanning the singularity. Anything? Not yet. Warp particles in full intensity. I'm picking up something. A singularity. It could be a rupture in the event horizon. Put it on screen. It's a rupture. It's 15 meters by 10. Oh, it's too small. It must have just collapsed since we passed through it. We found the crack. That's the important thing. Now, how do we make it bigger? Put a wedge in it and force it open. We could try to use a Dacium beam. All right, a Dacium beam. Mr. Paris, bring us closer. Captain, if we get too close to the rupture, our warp engine might make it collapse even further. Okay, we emit the beam from here. No, so they're going to have to take a shuttlecraft in. And they're going to use the shuttlecraft to keep it open. So then we're on the shuttlecraft, and Janeway and Torres handle the situation, and they get to know each other quite well during the situation. And Torres proves herself a worthy engineer during this particular time. They do a lot of technical stuff. So they've widened the rupture, and they solve the problem by fixing it. Ouch! Someone is telling me to hurry up. So they go back and forth with a shuttlecraft bridge, shuttlecraft bridge. Then the shuttlecraft returns to Voyager, and there's two shuttlecrafts, and there's two Voyagers. And B'Elanna and Janeway have to decide which one is the real Voyager and which one is the fake Voyager. One of them is a temporal reflection, but which one? I'm getting identical readings from both ships. Captain, the rupture is starting to collapse again. If Voyager doesn't get there within the next 5 minutes, we'll never get out. That means we have one chance to pick the correct ship. Simple choice, port or starboard. Starboard, port. The ship is more likely to be the real one. It's closer to the rupture. That means, and they have this little problem. That means that they're holding position as close as they can to the rupture, waiting for us to dock before they head out. No, it may be closer to the rupture, but it's facing the wrong direction. The starboard ship is facing away from him. That means they're trying to give us easy access to the shuttle bay. There has to be some way to tell them apart besides which direction they're facing. The starboard ship's thrusters are at standby. They're holding position. But the port ship is moving towards the rupture. That's right. It's the port ship. They're heading up. Don't you see? Voyager did move towards the rupture 20 minutes ago when we discovered it. That's why the port ship is moving toward it now. It's a time-delay reflection of what we did before. The starboard ship's the real one. They're waiting for her. If you're wrong, we're going to have a long time to debate it. And they end up in the right ship. So the captain goes back to the bridge. Commander Chakotay report. We're almost to the rupture. Mr. Paris is about to impress us with his piloting skills. The rupture's collapsing. It's down to 110 meters wide. That's too narrow. We're not going to make it. In command school, they taught us to always remember that maneuvering a starship is a very delicate process. But over the years, I've learned that sometimes you just have to punch your way through. Mr. Paris, full impulse power. Shields are down. I'm losing power to the port impulse engines. Switch to auxiliary power. Hull integrity is failing, Tuvok says. Keep it together, Mr. Paris. And they blast through. Tuvok says, we've cleared the event horizon, Captain. We've returned to normal space. Sometimes you just have to punch your way through. I'll have to remember that. Set a course. I want to be at least 100 million kilometers away from the singularity before we begin repairs. Okay, so my pal here has been getting up and getting down and getting up and getting down. So Chakotay and Torres are engineering. They are your staff. I'm not trying to break any of their noses. First order of the day. The captain wants the warp drive back online by 1300 hours. 1300 hours? That's impossible. Then maybe you need to break a few noses, or at least bend a few, Lieutenant. And he leaves. Torres says, all right, get that Isselinia bank up and running and lock down those plasma relays. Please, I'm going to be counting on you, Lieutenant. I'm not up to date on the latest Starfleet protocols, and I know that you are more familiar than I am. And she says this to Carey, and he agrees to help her. So then the captain and Tuvok are up on the walk around. Are you checking up on your new chief engineer? Observing. And two crew members have already filed complaints about her promotion, and she may be in for a tough period of adjustment. But I think Balan is going to make a fine addition to this crew. Our crew. Can I ask you a question off record? If things had happened differently and we were on the Marquis and shared Voyager, would you have served under me? One of the nice things about being captain is that you can keep some things to yourself. And the doctor calls in and goes, "Hey, he's about this tall now. Is anybody going to fix me?" And that's it. That's the end of our second episode. Let's see if this works. Of the Parallax. See if I can do this correct now. There we go. Our next one next week is Time and Time Again. Fingers crossed we get this fixed in time. But so what'd you think? What'd you think of the episode of them staring at themselves? It happens again. I think it happens a couple times. We'll see what happens. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Thank you.